let's explore a little bit the concept of ethic. So the idea that there is a best behavior, and that if we learn to choose consistently the best behavior, we get a special ride into evolution. We get an acceleration. So of course the golden rule is the one that says, do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. This we know is the golden rule, and there's really nothing to add to this extremely simple and crystalline principle. We can create musings and philosophies around it, but it's basically it. But what I would like to explore this evening is the difficulty in following this simple principle. What is that stimulus inside ourselves, that force inside ourselves that wants to carry us far away from this principle, want us to derail from this simple golden rule? We can call it egoism, of course. So the idea that we think more of our own benefit than the benefit of the others, the benefit of the others being, the benefits of the outside world. You can call it also service to self. So if you have ever read The Law of One, in that teaching is called service to self versus service to others. And this egoism is something that lives in us, is something that we relate to continuously. An interesting thing happens when we begin to be aware that we have this egoism, that we have this force that is somewhat pushing us to think more about our own benefit than the benefit of others. And when we become aware of this, so many different things happen. It really depends on our personality. We can react in so many different ways to this egoism. We can choose to become even more egoistic. We can see how we can optimize that search for our own benefit, and we can become master of egoism. Or we can feel bad and try a more altruistic behavior. When guilt comes into place, when we suddenly feel that we are not well and that there is an egoistic force in us, if we feel too guilty, if we judge ourselves, we can become overly altruistic, but still in a way that is imbalanced. In other words, we may try to do too much for others in a way that is not sustainable. And when we do this, we are actually again being egoistic, because we're not considering the power of the balance. We're throwing ourselves all in one direction, almost fearful of the other direction. So we stop loving ourselves and give all the love to others. And this becomes another very particular way of egoistic behavior. And so we can move between these two places in consciousness. We can be very egoistic and only think about ourselves, or we can become overly altruistic and only think of others. And in between there is all sorts of radiance, of course, in the way we can approach the relationship with ourselves and others. So of course the golden rule is teaching us, is remembering to us that giving should be the first step. The idea that you're always relating to the others. So you do unto others, you give to others what you would like to receive from others. So the giving is the first step, the idea of being altruistic. But it's not the end, because the golden rule also says what you would like to receive, what you would like to be done unto you. So there is still you, there is still your own benefit. So in other words, giving to others makes sense if that giving is something you receive back, you feel you receive back. Because then it becomes a sustainable, energetic system that can increase and grow more and more. So the idea is being altruistic by also feeling the benefit you can receive from that. Being altruistic by also understanding and perceiving that what you are giving, you're actually receiving in a continuous flow. If you don't perceive this, maybe it's a good idea to check what you're doing, in which way you're doing. Maybe you are doing too much. Maybe you're doing for the wrong reasons. Maybe you're giving because you want to be loved, or to feel recognized, or to feel, good about your guilt, because maybe you have been too egoistic for a while. Checking your state of consciousness and understanding that if you don't feel the pleasure of giving, if you don't feel that you're actually really receiving from that giving, it's good to find a different balance. Maybe to give a little bit less, or in a different way. Because otherwise you may also find yourself in a place where you feel ungrateful towards life, because you may say, I've been giving so much, I've been sacrificing so many things, I've been good, I've been a good person, I've helped this world the best I could, but I'm still not receiving back. I'm still not fully feeling that I'm supported. I'm still feeling poor, or I'm lacking something, or I just feel bad emotionally. And so, where are you? Where are you, universe? Where are you, life? Why aren't you supporting me? I'm being a good person. This is a clear case of being altruistic in a distorted way, from the wrong reasons, not understanding that you can only give what you yourself can receive, and you can only receive what you yourself can give. So if I had to add something to the golden rule this evening, I would probably just add this other very simple idea. You can give only what you can receive, and you can receive only what you can give. So let's stop here and just allow ourselves to explore in our own way the idea of ethic, the idea of giving and receiving, and the idea of finding this very elegant balance between the two. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Satnam.